I was pretty hyped to see MechaGodzilla in the new Godzilla vs. Kong. He's one of my favorite giant monsters. I like to say that he's the greatest villain in the history of cinema. And I mean, think about it. Machines are taking our jobs. Artificial intelligence and machinery is, replacing man. And it's a cold, calculated, inhuman, or non-animal version of ourselves. It's the perfect villain. In my excitement, I decided to make a fun little video, this will just be quick, of every MechaGodzilla that has appeared in feature films ranked. So sorry, MechaGodzilla from Godzilla Island and from the Godzilla the Animated Series. So here is every feature film MechaGodzilla ranked. All right, the worst MechaGodzilla, 6, is MechaGodzilla City / its weird design. I'll just lump the two designs together from the anime films. This is just fucking lame. It's a city. And then even when you do get to see what it looked like before it was a city, it's a mess. I don't like this MechaGodzilla. Number 5, I'm going with MechaGodzilla from Ready Player One. And I think that I don't like this one because it's such a generic design. It doesn't really look like a Godzilla that I can compare it to. This MechaGodzilla kind of looks really generic. I think if you were to make a definitely not MechaGodzilla, like if Asylum were to make Mecha Monster or Mecha T-Rex, like a rip-off movie of MechaGodzilla, this is what, it would look like with a high budget. So I think it's just a generic design, but it's not bad. It's too small, but again, to make sense in the context of the story, it can't be the size of the actual MechaGodzilla. I also think it looks kind of weightless at times. I'm just not crazy about it, but it's not the worst thing, which would be MechaGodzilla City. 4. I'm going with Super MechaGodzilla from the Heisei series, or the second version of MechaGodzilla. And I think it's just too clean, it's too slick. There are more things that I like than I don't like about it, but I'm trying to justify why it's this low on the list, because I feel like people are not going to agree with this. But I just think that it doesn't have the same grit or the same flexibility that later MechaGodzillas would have that you're going to see later. It's kind of in this weird in-between where it's too nice looking to be intimidating, but then it's also too rigid to also be intimidating, I feel like Kiryu has better movement and then the original MechaGodzilla has a better look. Next up, the third, number 3, is going to be MechaGodzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong. I enjoyed this design. I think there's some weird things about it, but the more I looked at it, the more I saw it, the more it grew on me. I like how mean and intimidating it looks, something that I think is very important in a villain. Unlike Super MechaGodzilla, who looks kind of goofy and has really thick hips. This MechaGodzilla has a weird looking body, kinda, and his finger thing going on is a little off, and I'm not crazy about that, but the rest of the design I really enjoy. I like the evil looking eyes, I like how the dorsal plates look, I like the movement. It was a fun monster, and I liked its arsenal as well. But now the top 2. And I feel like this is where fans would be more split than ever. If you love MechaGodzilla, these are probably your top 2. I'm gonna go number 2, Kiryu, and number 1, the original MechaGodzilla. And why? Because I think the overall look and design of the monster, being the antagonist, it's more important for it to look scary. And I know that that doesn't really make sense because technically MechaGodzilla Kiryu, MechaGodzilla 3 is the protagonist / the good guy in that series. But I like my MechaGodzilla's evil. I like a mean MechaGodzilla, and that's why I put the original in the number 1 spot. That's really the only reason. Otherwise, I think both designs are great. I like how kind of like old school robotic the original one moves and how snappy some of its movements are. I also really like its arsenal. I think it's really colorful and flashy. Whereas the new one is like, it's really clean. It's a fucking clean design. And its arsenal makes a little bit more sense. Like, where are you fitting the ammo in the old MechaGodzilla? This one logically makes a bit more sense. But again, I prefer a mean-looking MechaGodzilla, so the design of the original, that's my preference. Like I said, quick little video. I had MechaGodzilla on the mind, so I thought I'd shoot it. Thanks for watching.